Oh, hey guys. Today we're going to talk about uh, how to get your child to respond to their names. And this question has been coming up a lot, even inside the micro course, and actually the whole Agents of Speech community, where parents just hop on in the Facebook group and ask me. And sometimes they might email me or something. And most of the time, I get it inside the comments of the course. So if you want to know more about the course, you can go to agentsofspeech.com/micro. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. What I want to say is how to get them to listen to you. Okay. And a lot of parents are doing it wrong. And I'm saying a lot. It might be you. It might not be you. Don't take this personally. What I mean is I'm just going to tell you what works. Okay. So what's working is that when you are asking for your child's attention, make sure that you have something for them, right? Don't just call them and repeat and call them and repeat and call them and do it 1,000 times hoping that they would listen to you. And if you're doing this all the time, and I see this with like my friends with their pets or something, you're treating your kid like a pet then, right? Because if you keep on like repeating and saying like, let's say that your son's called Tom, right? And you keep on saying Tom, 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 like that, like what is the end goal of you calling his name, right? And a lot of parents are saying like, okay, they do listen to me when I say, hey, Tom, do you want like a biscuit? And then they'll come running at you. Yeah, of course, because you have something to offer. But if you have nothing to offer, okay, then there's no point for them to actually listen, right? There's no point. And if you do it, you keep on doing it, it basically becomes background noise and you're teaching them to actually just ignore you. Okay. And we talk about this a lot inside the micro course. And why I always talk about the micro course is because I don't want to repeat myself that much. And inside the micro course, we talk about teaching your child how to like answer questions. And the first thing I say basically is that don't ask questions. Okay. And if you follow that mindset, then you shouldn't be calling for a child's name, because that's something you're asking for their precious, precious attention. All right. Think about how much time they spend with you. Okay. Just think about that. If it's very little, then if you ask for that attention, it better be something good. If not, then next time they won't listen. Okay. So it's basically like a salesman. You are a salesman. Okay. You're asking for attention. Okay. If there's nothing rewarding at the end of the day, like those, phone calls you get, especially now I'm back in Hong Kong for a bit. And then once I get off into Hong Kong, people are calling me like random numbers, right? And they're like asking like, oh, do you want whatever? Are you Ming or whatever? And then they start talking to me about like getting a loan or something. And most of the time I just hang up because there's nothing in for me. I don't want a loan. I don't want whatever. All right. So think about it that way. If you're asking for a child's attention, don't use it like that. So you might ask me, okay, so if I don't call for my child, then what should I do? Well, very easy. Whenever your child wants something from you and they're walking towards you, you say their name and you pair it up with the feeling of them wanting something from you or like them running towards you. So usually what happens is that when a child comes to me, I will say their name. Okay. I'll say, good, Robbie, or like, good, Tom, good, whatever. Good, Stephen, or whatever. And then slowly it takes time that, they pair that their name equals to them. All right. So many times that, when parents use their name too much, it becomes like it doesn't mean anything. It's just whatever. But if you use it at the right time, at the right function, and at the right context, it's going to mean something to them. Okay. So how you do it is basically, you don't need to like formulate. You don't need to have something in your hand or whatever. Whenever they want something from you, they're coming over to you. It's like, oh, good, Tom, nice coming to mom or something. Keep it natural. Okay. Don't ask for the attention. Use something else to get their attention. Use like a food, a snack. And I've been talking a lot about this, like use like a TV remote, use the TV itself, use a bottle, I don't know, stuff that they like. And then when they are coming at you, you say their name. so that you're pairing. Okay. And you might say that, hey, isn't that the same as using a clicker for like a dog or like a cat or like a certain pet? Yeah, to some extent, yes. But at the same time, there is a meaning behind their name. If you keep on using their name over and over again for no particular reason, then they won't get the meaning. All they think that they're doing is that you're just being whatever, right? So at the end of the day, find something that they want and then say the name when they're looking at you and when they're like wanting something from you, and slowly they will understand. Okay. So a lot of parents will say, right, if I do this, wouldn't they learn their names very slowly? Well, yes and no, man. I mean, if you really want your child to learn something real quick, have something that will die for, right? Like something that, like for instance, if you want to learn something, put something on the edge, right? Put like $10,000 on the edge, on the line, and then make sure that you learn something so that you don't lose it. And this was the same as teaching anyone, any human being or any animal or whatever. Get something that they like, and then keep on making them listen to it and come to you. Okay. So now I'm getting a little repetitive, and you might think that, okay, this is easy, so I'll go ahead and do it. But I'm telling you, it's human nature. It's in your blood to keep on repeating and asking for a child's attention for no particular reason. And this is something you have to understand. You have to understand that it's something that is selfish. Okay, I'm not judging you. It's just that you're selfish. You want your child's attention. Okay, there's nothing in for them. It's just that a lot of the time is that when I go to a friend's, like at my age, my friends are starting to have kids, all right, and starting to have pets. And what they do is basically they ask for that attention, and after that they just go, They're like, yeah, good, thanks, right? There's nothing, okay? And you think about it, you have to shift your mind, okay? Think about it. If your child has a speech delayed, is like on the spectrum, okay? It's already hard to get them to look at you. It's already hard to get them to play with you. It's already difficult for them to like engage with you. Then what are the chances of them like responding to their names, right? It's near to zero. So let me tell you something. I'm sure that your child will come to you when you call their name during dinner time, when they're hungry. Okay? That's for sure. That's for sure. So what I'm telling you to do is, use their names only when, it's, it's worthy of their time. Okay? Use it only when you have something to offer. Use it only when you have something to reward them with. All right? Do not use it. You do not repeat stuff, because when you repeat things, repeat phrases, repeat words, you're using something that doesn't work. Okay? If you're doing something that doesn't work over and over again, you know that they're gonna ignore you. Then why are you doing it in the first place? Right? You're hoping to like break a wall by crashing into it. It's the same thing. And it takes someone like myself from a third person perspective to tell you that this doesn't work. Okay? So it needs to be the other way around. If you want your child to respond to you when you call the name, don't repeat yourself. Okay? Either, like, I'm not even going to say that. Just don't repeat yourself. Okay? And other than having something that they want, make sure that you say it when they're having fun with you. Okay? And make sure that when you call the name, you don't use that tone. And what I mean by tone is that I how to say this? Everyone has a tone when they call someone that they're close to. Don't use that tone, okay? Because whenever you use that tone, children, especially on, who are delayed or on a spectrum, they catch on to these things because that's how they cope with the world. They don't know a lot about this world. So whenever they hear that type of tone or that type of, when you're telling them to do something, and then you call their name, then they know it's work, right? Especially when parents say, "Oh, Dave," like Dave, right? I'm not going to use his real name, right? But there's a client of mine that, whenever he finishes playing, parents want him to pack up, and then let's say his name is Dave, right? The mom will say like, Dave, it's time to pack up. Dave, you didn't listen to me. Like she keeps on repeating, and then like finally when the child like starts to pack up, and then she's like, yeah, okay, just sits back without praising, without like rewarding, without anything. All right. And what does it mean? It means that the word Dave, the word pack, the sentence pack up didn't mean anything. It's just by chance that the child finished and he wanted to pack up to play the next game. Okay. And I want you to take a step back and look, is there any like interaction like that? Because the more you do like that, the more the child thinks that this is something that they can ignore and they will ignore. And in the future, it's very difficult to teach. All right. So I might be going a little too like long-winded here, but what I need you to understand, and so that you don't need to ask me anymore, is that are you like annoying your child like crazy? Are you like telling them to pack up over and over again? Are you telling them to come over to do something or like throw something in the bin by calling their name? Are you pairing up work with their name? That's the biggest problem. You're not pairing rewards and fun stuff with their name, but you're pairing work and what they should do according to what we think. Like they should pack up, they should like clean the plates, they should throw away the trash, they should like give us the newspaper, whatever. I've seen a lot of stuff as a speech therapist. Okay. I've seen parents wanting the kid to like read the Bible and do a prayer together when they can't talk. And it sounds crazy to you right now, but when you're doing it, you don't think you're crazy because, a child who cannot talk and has problems with speaking, and the parents who want them to pray because, religion is before a lot of things and a lot of cultures. I respect that. And actually I am kind of like that as well. Like you cannot expect them to recite a prayer or a Bible verse just because you call the name over and over again. Okay. Children don't respond to you is because you're not helping them enough, because it's too difficult, or they don't want to. We can solve both of that by making sure that it's easy to look at you, right? Because you're at ground level, like eye level. All right. You're not pulling your head or whatever. Like think about it. Like a lot of parents tell me, like not a lot. Okay. This week there were 4. Okay. 4 parents asked me, no matter what I do, I call their name, I twist their neck, I put something next, like let's say they wanted like what do we have here? Look like a phone, right? They wanted a phone. I put the phone next to my eye. That's what the professionals say. Put something they want next to the eye, and then they'll look at you, right? I'll say like their name, something like Dave, like that. Still not looking. Okay. Why is it not working? Because first of all, you're not making it easy for them. They don't understand what you're doing. You're forcing them. You're turning the head. You're basically twisting their necks, right? It's not comfortable. Think about it. If every time someone calls your name and twists your neck, what are you going to do? You're going to hate it. And whenever you hear your name, it reminds you of that experience. So it's not cool. Okay. So I'm going to I know this topic is very, 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 very hot, because a lot of parents ask me this, and I'm going to include it in the micro course about like a step-by-step way of how to do it. Obviously, I'm going off the cuff here and just ranting a little bit, but at the same time, it's literally what you need to do, right? You just need to have something they want, have a reason for them to respond, and also don't like pair it with like stuff that you don't like. For instance, like doing work and twisting their necks and stuff. Okay. So Danya here says, my son looks to his name about a little more than a half of the time. I believe he knows his name because he started requesting Daniel tablet. Our SLP told us to teach him I want, and he just said, well, it's that. How do you teach him? My name is Daniel. Okay. So the question is always, for me, is like, why do you think this is something functional for him? Like, for instance, if you are teaching him to answer what's your name, I think it's fine. Okay. Like to answer what's your name, but when would it be wouldn't it be functional for him to say my name is Daniel? Does he have to say it when he orders food at the counter, or if he's in a shopping mall, which he would be very lost anyways, and he would be very stressed out anyways. He cannot like say the speech or language that he learned with you or your therapist, right? So why is it that you think it's like it's for sure I'm trying to answer your question, but at the same time I don't think that's the thing that you should do right now. Okay, there's a reason why your SLP told him to like. Oh, I see. So Danya here kind of says like, oh, I asked him, what is your name, right? And he doesn't need to say my name is Daniel. All he has to say is Daniel, right? So you can write Daniel out on a piece of paper, okay? Like on a piece of paper like this, right? It can be very low tech. Write it out, and then you say, what's your name? And show him, Daniel. What's your name? Daniel. And you can put like Daniel here and his picture, right? And then as long as he has been looking at himself in the mirror, he would know that's himself, right? So he already knows that his name, himself is Daniel, okay? So whenever you give him a question, like, what's your name? And then you show the visual cue of Daniel and the face, then he will say Daniel for sure, all right? So to clarify, I don't think it's functional for him to suddenly say out of nowhere that my name is Daniel. First of all, it's too long. If your child is like Daniel is learning how to say like, I want tablet, like 3 words. Actually, I want is kind of 1 word, because he wouldn't say like you want, or, you know, dad wants, mom wants, right? So it's actually 1 word, if you get what I mean. There's only 1 meaning within the whole thing. So what I'm trying to say is that he is around 2 words, because he's saying Daniel tablet. He's not saying like, Daniel, give me the tablet. Like he's only saying Daniel tablet. If you teach him my name is Daniel, that's 4. Like that means that you're not thinking. And I don't mean this in a bad way, Daniel. I mean that you're not thinking in your child's shoes, because that's literally telling him to memorize a sentence for no reason. Okay, so I wouldn't ever do that, and I would never ask you to do that either. Ask a child to remember that either, other than the, you know, a special case like in Hong Kong where kindergarten interviews are freaking crazy, and they keep on asking children to like ask them, what's your favorite author? Who's your favorite author? What's your favorite book? You know, like what's your, you know, what does your parents do? How old are you? What's your favorite hobby? Like what do you do for a weekend? Asking like 2 or 3-year-olds, that's crazy. So for me, if your child is speech delayed and, you know, may possibly on the spectrum, I wouldn't teach him like my name is Daniel. That's too long. It's just teach him to answer the simple questions like, what's your name? How old are you? You know, where do you live? These are enough. And these are only for like when he's lost. You know, you need to think about how functional it is. Okay, so I hope that I answered your question, Danya. All right. So I'm going to end this live very soon, because this topic has been this question has been coming up too much, right? So what I would say is that you need to have a mindset about thinking what's functional. Don't think in a way that, you know, because your child is already delayed, therefore you want to catch up. But when you try to catch up and you try to like keep on repeating something and asking for a child's attention, that actually doesn't push your child's language forward. Okay. And I really think that adds stress to the child. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can like go back and watch the video again. But you can also go to agentsofspeech.com/micro. The whole micro course is about changing your mindset about teaching your child, because it's difficult. Because using what works for typically developing children on speech delayed children simply doesn't work. And most of the time it's because, you know, speech delayed children, their IQ is totally normal, right? So therefore, when you treat them abnormally, meaning you keep on repeating and, you know, taking their head and switching them and telling that them to do stuff over and over again, that makes them feel like they're not normal and they're stressed out. So, you know, that's why as a whole theme, right? A lot of parents feel like speech delayed children are bullying them. They're not listening to them. They're refusing to answering to their names. These are common themes. So I hope this live was good enough for you to understand. Summarize one more time. Don't repeat yourself. Have something of value, a reward or anything for them to look at you, right? If you call their name and they do look by chance, reward them with, I don't know, like a smile, like tickle them if they like it, smile at them, make a funny face. It doesn't need to be like super crazy. It's just like, like that. That's just still okay, right? And don't call the name to make them do something, because that's a punishment in their minds. Not in our minds. We just think that, hey, that's what everyone does, so you should do it. So I'm going to answer some questions real quick before I end. So Sin here says, my son too doesn't respond to what is your name, but he knows his name because he responds to instructions such as P, put on your pants, he will do it. He's going to be 5, by the way. Okay, so him responding to instructions with his name in front doesn't mean that he understands his name. Okay, just means that he understands put on your pants. But I am not sure. But like, what is your name is very easy. Just use that thing that I was talking about, and make sure you have strong rewards when you're teaching that. Okay, it's very easy to teach. Simple, like just memory, right? What's your name? Daniel. What's your name? P. Right? Use visual cues. Okay, don't just leave it to them to remember it. Okay. Nabil. Hey, Nabil. Long time no talk. So she says, how do I help my child to answer questions like why, how, and while narrating a story? It's totally off topic, Nabil. But for this, I don't think you should do it whilst narrating a story. You should do it whilst playing a board game, so that there's a context. Like if he does something, like if you do something out of the rule and she doesn't like it, and you ask why, then she will be able to say the basic structures of it, right? Like for instance, if you roll a dice that's 5 and you walk only 1, then and you leave it at that, and she's not very comfortable with it, then she's gonna say, hey, no, mom, you're supposed to walk 1, like that. And when she's physically, like, you can see that she doesn't like it, and then you can when you know that she knows, when you know that she knows there's a problem with it, with the situation, and then you can see how much language that comes out of her mouth, and then you can help her and teach her how to answer with because, whatever, right, according to her language level. All right, so I think I'm gonna stop here for today. It's a question that I get a lot, and I hope that I tried my best to answer it. And I promise you I will make a very substantial training about this inside the micro course, because it's been plaguing me as well. It's been like, this question has been around for a long time. So it's going to be in the micro course. I'm going to add one more module to it. So you can go to agentsofspeech.com/micro and sign up now. And if you're on my email broadcast, I will tell you when this is updated. Okay, so join now so that later on, and I'll be putting more and more videos in there. And then you might ask me, like, why is it that, why don't you just put it on YouTube or whatever? It's just that if you go through a sequence of videos that I've made after answering a lot of questions, and with like PowerPoint slides and video examples, it's much easier for you to understand. And recently inside the Facebook group, parents who have watched the videos are getting very good results, because we lay it down very, very in a concrete sense. And if you want to, that is, after the micro course, parents are looking for more of a like step-by-step approach after like dealing with the mindset issues. Like for instance, I'm telling you not to repeat, not to like tell them to punish them. And that's something that you've never heard of before, right? All you are thinking right now is your goal is to get them to respond to you. But you never thought about their motivation, or is it too hard or too easy, and how you should do it. So the micro course and the introduction course kind of covers that. But after that, if you want to, like, for instance, Nabil was asking, how do you answer questions like and why and how? these kind of stuff, it needs a step-by-step approach. Okay. And then like after you get all these mindset stuff, we're trying in Agents of Speech is to make new training for parents who want to make them into a longer step-by-step introduction course with like not introduction course, like a step-by-step course that is more in-depth for parents who are who want to teach, right? So yeah, that's the end of the live for today. And hopefully I can see you guys next week. So we do this kind of live every Monday on 9 p.m. Jakarta time, 10 p.m. HK time, and what's that? 10 a.m. Eastern Standard if you're not in Asia. Okay. So see you guys. Put your questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them if I haven't answered them on the live already. Okay. See ya.